You said frameworks and processes are meant to lift the average. They're not designed for your top performers. I think that's really profound. Can you explain?
So a lot of that is around, there is a lot of context around the problems that we're trying to solve. And frameworks and processes sometimes try and abstract that out. One of my experiences when I worked at Facebook was I went over from Microsoft. It took me, I don't know, 7, 8 months to get to the point where I felt like I was really comfortable and I was doing well at Facebook. And I noticed this interesting thing that happened to me. Managers of other teams would bring some of their directs to me and say, "Hey, Vineeth, can you have the Microsoft conversation with them?" And really what they wanted me to do was talk to them about, the problem was these people would sometimes see a problem at Facebook and explain to people, when I was at Microsoft, here's how we solved it. And what used to happen at Facebook was instantly when you said those words, people would, like not hear the rest of what you were saying because in their heads they're hearing, oh, that is Microsoft, that doesn't apply here or whatever kind of thing. And sometimes these people actually, like the reason we hired them was because they're smart people and had, like good experience on specific things that were relevant. And often, my conversation with them would be, just leave out the at Microsoft part. You know, talk to people at Facebook about here is the problem and here is what the shape of the solution and why it addresses that. And it can be something that you did at Microsoft and was successful, but leave out that part because then people kind of evaluate it not as a is this a process that we want to inherit from Microsoft or not? And people kind of look at here's the core problem and here's the solution and here's there's either a match or there isn't. And I feel like that the same thing is true. Like working at a startup, I've definitely learned this time and again, where people sometimes will say, oh, here's what this other B2B company did, here's what this other SaaS company did. And a lot of those things don't automatically translate to the context that we have, the buyers that we're trying to sell to. And processes sometimes get in the way of kind of figuring out what, or reusing a template from somewhere else kind of gets in the way of figuring out what truly matters here. Once you're scaling, these things are amazing. This is how you kind of make sure that things become repeatable, things, that you can do a bunch more of what you initially kind of handcrafted and did. But that is the distinction I make between the two. Good PMs know how to bend the rules, and I feel like that is almost more important than being able to find like the perfect template or something like that to use anywhere.
Yeah, I think whether you're in startup or big tech, good PMs need to know how to bend the rules.